She kept her head down as the crates of ammunition clanged against the steel deck, her arms straining beneath their weight. Around her, sailors shouted, boots thundered, and the roar of jet engines trembled through the carrier. No one paid her much attention. That was how she wanted it. But as she shifted a heavy box into place, the cuff of her sleeve slipped back, and something glinted in the sharp sunlight. A medal. Not just any medal, one that didn't belong on the arm of someone moving crates in silence. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The Admiral had been watching the deck that morning, his sharp eyes trained more on the rhythm of the crew than the machinery. Discipline fascinated him, how each piece of the whole fit together like clockwork. And yet, his gaze snagged on her, the young woman who never raised her voice, who seemed smaller than the rest, as though she were trying to fold into herself. What was she hiding? He saw the gleam, caught between sunlight and shadow, and his breath stilled. The medal she wore could only be earned in fire, not handed out as decoration. Her name was Evelyn Carter. To the others, she was just another hand in the relentless machinery of war. But inside, Evelyn carried memories like shrapnel, of a village swallowed in smoke, of men she couldn't save, of one act of defiance that had nearly cost her everything. She thought if she kept her head low, if she pushed boxes and swallowed her voice, she could escape the past. But medals had a way of telling stories, even when silence tried to bury them. The Admiral approached, his shadow falling long across the deck. Sailors stiffened, whispers rustling through the crew. Evelyn felt the air thicken, the weight of dozens of eyes pressing against her back. Her hands trembled as she adjusted the sleeve, but it was too late. The secret had been seen. He asked quietly but firmly where she'd gotten the medal. For a heartbeat, the deck seemed to stop moving. The clamor of engines, the calls of sailors, it all faded into a heavy silence. She could lie. She could say it wasn't hers, that she'd found it, that she didn't know its meaning. But lying felt like turning her back on the very people she'd once bled for. So Evelyn spoke. Her voice was soft, carrying only to those nearest, but every word cut through the silence. She told of the ambush, the wounded pinned under fire, the decision no one else dared make. She told of dragging men through smoke and gunfire, of shielding them when the blast came, of the pain she carried long after, and then of the moment they tried to decorate her, when she refused to stand on that stage because medals couldn't bring back the fallen. The sailors listened, their faces unreadable at first. Some looked away, ashamed they'd never known. Others leaned closer, as if her words stitched courage into their own bones. The Admiral said nothing until she finished. Then, slowly, he removed his cap, holding it against his chest. One by one, the others followed. The deck of the carrier, once filled with noise and motion, fell into reverent stillness. In that silence, Evelyn felt the ache of years loosen, just slightly. She had never wanted glory, only remembrance. And now, standing among those who finally saw her, she understood. Hiding her story had never protected her. It had only kept others from learning what sacrifice truly meant. The Admiral broke the silence at last. His words were few, but they carried like thunder. Courage doesn't hide, it lives. Applause erupted. Not the raucous cheer of victory, but the slow, steady rhythm of respect. Each clap a vow that her story would not be forgotten. Evelyn lowered her head, tears trembling in her lashes, but for the first time, they weren't born of shame. They were of release, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And on that carrier, where steel met sky and salt wind carried echoes of the past, a medal once hidden shone openly. A reminder that even in silence, truth finds its voice. If Evelyn's story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments and join our community by subscribing. Stories like these deserve to be remembered, and together We'll make sure they are.